Right, I'm very excited to announce that I am in Waitro's car park waiting for my mate Stu Dixon to turn up off the ferry, and then we're going to Combley Lakes. We've got 3 nights ahead of us. The lake is full of absolute stunners. You may have seen my video for the Prologic Channel a couple of weeks back. I managed a 36 pounder and a beautiful 27 pounder as well. Well, I've got 3 nights ahead of me on that lake again, and the weather is absolutely gorgeous. It's been up and down the last few weeks, and now we've got 17, 18 degrees, beautiful sunshine, and the nighttime temperatures are sort of staying above double figures as well, so it's looking good for a couple of fish, hopefully. So yeah, I'm just waiting for Stu to turn up off the ferry, and then we're going to make our way to the lake, and we'll have a little walk around and see what we can see. So yeah, let's hope we're in for a good few days. Stu Dixon.
We've both had a trim.
Yeah. We set off for the lake full of anticipation for the session. We timed it well with the arrival of the warmer weather, so the fish should be on the move and looking for warmth and food to wake themselves from their winter slumber. On arrival, we did a lap of the lake, and it was quite clear the fish were patrolling the far margins. We set about getting a base camp sorted and rigs ready to go. With so many big scaly carp visible, it made sense to try and stalk one before setting up properly for the night. Right, so here we are, Combley Lakes. We've more or less got everything set up now, but we've not got any rods out yet. Both of us have decided to go around the far side and just introduce a little bit of bait, just to see the fish's reaction really. And I've got some exciting news. I've just put a tiny bit of bait out in one corner, and I've seen the big common swim over it, and then another fish, a big scaly one, must be 40 pound, has come and had a little feed where I've put the bait. So rather than getting all my rods out and setting out my stall for the night, I'm going to take a rod round there. I've just got a little bag there with a little wafter on it, and I'm going to go drop that in the edge where I've seen a fish feeding, and hopefully get an early bite. So I'll try and capture it on my GoPro for you. I'm going to have to climb up a tree to kind of see where the rig is and everything. But yeah, I'm going to take a net round there, take a rod round there and give it an hour, because I've already seen one feed in there, and there may be more that have come in now. So yeah, I'm just going to go do that, and then I'm going to talk you through the kind of tactics and spots and everything like that throughout the course of the session. But for now, it's all about trying to nick a bite before this evening. So I'm going to go do that, and I'll give you an update this evening when we're all settled and we've got the rods out properly. Hopefully you can see that, guys. There's a few fish just coming across in this corner. You can see them from up the tree. There's one down there now that looks easily 40 pound. And like I said, I've seen the big common as well, which is 50 pound. So it's quite exciting just watching them swimming. But I haven't got an opportunity to get the rod in at the moment because the fish are all here. So I'm just going to stay up the tree and watch. And when they move off a little bit, I'll sneak the rig in, put a tiny bit more bait in, and then just watch and see what happens. Guys, I hope you can see this. There's 3 fish coming in the zone and one of them's just gone down on the spot right near my rig. And hopefully that one feeding will get the other ones interested. This one down here is big and scaly. It's got to be upper 30, full of apple slice scales, and he's just gone down and fed right near my rig. They're not really feeding hard, they're just coming in for a mouthful and then moving off again. But I suppose it's good if they keep having a mouthful and not getting caught, then they get their confidence up. There's another one, slightly smaller one, coming in. Oh, and he's dropping down. He's dropping down. And there's another one. Oh! Stu! Oh! It's come off. After the loss of that fish, I tried again, but inevitably the fish had moved off and time was getting on, so I decided to head back to my swim and get 3 rods out properly for the night ahead. I was using a bait boat as it allows a stealthy approach for these wise, super pressured fish. It also allows accurate baiting with small amounts of bait around your rig to fish for a bite at a time, rather than piling it in and waiting. And I didn't have to wait long. Right guys, I only just put the rods out and I've only got 2 out at the moment. And one of them's gone while I was settling the second one. So, yeah, it's a good start, isn't it, mate?
Yeah.
Where's he going? Just doing lots of kiting at the moment. He's starting to think about tiring, I think.
Yeah, come on.
Yes, Ed.
Pressure's off.
Right guys, I'm trying to show you this fish. First one of the session. It's only 18 pounds, but he's really lively. Ready to go back he is, but look, beautiful scaly one. It's a nice start to the session. Rod had only been in the water for half an hour and I was just sorting out my second rod and the first rod went, so yeah, nice to be off the mark. And only a small one for this lake. Probably one of the smallest in the lake actually, but absolutely beautiful. And the pressure's off now, so it's just up to Stu to have one now, isn't it, mate? Yeah. So yeah, I'll get him back and hopefully we'll catch his big brother or sister. We settled down with a barbecue for the evening, but it wasn't long before the action continued.
It's ending, tell me you'll never come again.
Right guys, absolutely over the moon, first night. Well, I've had that 18 pounder that you saw already, and then we're just having a burger. Me and Stu just had a nice barbecue, and same rod again has gone. And it's a little bit bigger this time, 29.14. So I'm going to try and lift it up and show you. It's always a bit difficult when you're in the water, but we have been asked to do everything in the water now. So yeah, it's a bit tricky, but I will do my best to get it up and show you. Right, we go. Well happy with that. £29.14 on the same spot as the last fish. So tomorrow morning I'll take you through the tactics and talk you through my spots and everything. Show you the rig and the bait that I'm using. But yeah, hopefully there's time for more. It's only the first night of a 3-night session, so 2 fish already. I'm well pleased. So I'll get a few photos of this one and get it back and hopefully get that rod back out sweet, and we might have a chance of another one yet. Happy days. There it goes.
Of the sun is on our side. Shadows are moving. The daylight is fading. It takes with it what I want to hold. Will I remember the moments unspoken, hidden beneath amber skies? You must go now. Take hold of us.
Well, good morning guys. I must admit, up until a minute ago, my head was absolutely gone. My bait boat packed up last night. I don't know what's wrong with it, but it just it won't connect to the handset. So I was trying to cast out after that fish last night in the dark, trying to cast that far margin without being clipped up, and it's nigh on impossible. So I just pub chucked it for the night really, and then this morning I've re-chucked it a bit more accurately to that far side, and I think after about 15 casts or so I managed to get it more or less on the spot where I caught the fish yesterday, and within an hour it's gone. And down here in the net there is an absolutely stunning scaly fish, looks over £30, maybe mid-30 even. It's quite a big one. So yeah, I'm just going to get camera sorted and everything and get in the water with it, and then I'll show it to you. And then in a little while we'll be talking tactics. So stay tuned guys, and I'll show you this fish. Right guys, I'm going to do my best to show you it before he jumps out of my hands. It was £32, 8 ounces. Absolutely stunning linear. Hopefully he's going to behave. Oh, there we go. What a lovely fish. Absolutely blown away. That was just on a recast this morning with a single hook bait in the roughly in the area where I'd been fishing with the bait boat. I don't think it was that accurate, to be honest, but I've been lucky and it's paid off. So I'll get some photos and get the rod back out, and then I'll talk you through the tactics that I used to catch it. I'm well happy with that. That's 3 fish, and we're not even 24 hours into the session, so it's a good start. Let's hope it carries on. See you later. The loss of a working boat added an extra challenge to the session, and I had to up my game to keep the rods fishing effectively. The high pressure and hot daytime temperatures had the fish cruising on the surface, which also slowed the action down. Also, the amount of natural food up in the layers, and zig fishing being banned, meant we would have to rely on a bit of good fortune for the rest of the session. Right guys, so little update for you. Apologies, it's been quite slow on the filming today. I've not really had a lot of chance to keep you updated with what's been going on. I have managed to get my rods refreshed for the night now, and I'm out on my spots where I've caught, so you know it's looking good, hopefully for a bite as we're coming into the evening now on the second day. Now the fish today seem to have moved off the far margins a little bit where they were yesterday. They're not quite as you know, tucked over the far side, and they seem to be showing in the open water a little bit more, and we're wondering whether there's been a hatch or something. We've got a full moon coming, and it's quite common to get fly hatches around the full moon, and the fish have been showing kind of mid-water and sort of just rolling over on the surface kind of halfway across the lake. Now normally you'd be thinking zig fishing would be perfect, but you're not allowed on this lake unfortunately, so there's not really any way we can fish for those fish in the open water. So I'm sticking to my spots on the far side, hoping that tonight when it gets dark, you know, they're going to creep back over to that far margin where they feel safe, away from this bank where all the anglers fish from. And hopefully they'll be milling along that far margin looking for food on the bottom. So I've got my rods kind of in the same spots I was fishing yesterday. I'll talk you through my spots tomorrow, but my tactics really on this session have just been little SS1 wafters with maggots on top just for a bit of movement. And I've been using white and pink, and I've caught on both, so it doesn't seem to matter what colour I use. And then the bait that's going over there is amino ester boilie crumb, and I've used some Vitalin as well, which is like a dog food, but when you mix that with water it binds up into sort of a sticky paste, and that binds the boilie crumb together, and that's allowed me to ball it up into small balls and throw it in and sort of scatter it around my spots, rather than what most people do on this lake and use a bait boat to just drive out and drop one localised area of bait. I've actually spread it out over, you know, the size of a sort of a bivvy ground sheet really, and then just fished a little wafter over the top of that, hoping that the fish are going to move a bit more and feel sort of confident as they're feeding, and hopefully find that wafter and hook themselves a bit easier because they're moving. It's always harder to hook fish that aren't moving very much, so the idea is to get them moving from bait to bait and patch of bait to patch of bait, and get hooked a little bit easier. So that's the sort of tactics really that I'm using, and I've caught my 3 fish so far, so it's been going well. But today nothing's happened really. I've been kind of trying to stalk on the corner down here where I saw the big common yesterday. I saw that come into that corner, so I've been down there just with a single rod, just trying to nick one out the edge down there, but nothing's happened. They seem quite cagey. I've seen them coming in, but they're just not feeding on that area, and it seems like when one fish goes on the area, another fish will come in and kind of push it away. It's almost like they're warning each other not to go in that corner because they know there's a rig there or something. It's very strange behaviour, but quite interesting to see that. And this lake's so clear, you can kind of see what's going on. And I had the drone up earlier as well, and I saw quite a few fish cruising around on the surface, and they just weren't really feeding. So I think now that we're coming into the afternoon and the evening, this is a time when hopefully they're going to start feeding. And I did have my first fish yesterday around about 6 o'clock, so in about an hour's time we're going to be looking at that sort of bite time again, hopefully. So yeah, for now there's not much more I can tell you. I'll talk to you about spots tomorrow. I am possibly going to move 1 or even 2 of my rods because those spots aren't producing, but I'll talk you through that tomorrow. And yeah, for tonight we've got some nice food to enjoy, a couple of ciders, and yeah, we'll be hopefully catching a couple more of these beautiful scaly carp. Nothing happened that evening, and indeed that night and the next morning were uneventful too.
Again, the warmer daytime temperatures had the fish cruising around and made the fishing difficult. A change of tactics were in order, so I went for a walk around looking for some likely looking areas before getting the rods sorted for the last night.
Right then guys, it's been a tricky day today. I've decided to have a bit of a change of plan of all my spots and my tactics as well, so I'm going to have to talk you through that at some point, maybe tomorrow morning. And I'll talk you through my spots as well. I was going to tell you today, but then I've decided to move them all. But anyway, I got my rods out about an hour ago and one of them's gone already, and it's the biggest fish of the session so far, at 32 pound 14, and it's another stunning scaly one, like they all are in here, and I'm absolutely over the moon. So let's get it up and show you, and hopefully we can get a couple more before we have to leave tomorrow. Get in, there we go. £32 14. No, what was it? 32.10. 32.10. Sorry, got the weight wrong there. But it doesn't matter when they look like that, does it? Another stunning linear. Seems to be a lot like this in this lake, and they're absolutely beautiful. I could catch these all day long. What we need now is one of the big girls to come along tonight and make Stu happy to end the trip, eh mate? Right, I'll just show you the other side quickly and then we'll get some pictures and get it back. Here you go guys. Quick look at the other side. Beautiful linear from Combley Lakes. Caught on a pop-up, which is my first fish from here on a pop-up, so I'll talk you through the tactics for that probably tomorrow morning now, because we're losing the light and I've got a few other bits I need to do before it gets dark. So yeah, I'll catch you up tomorrow with all the tactics and the spots that I'm now fishing, and yeah, hopefully there's time for more before we have to leave. Happy days.
Unbelievably, as I released the fish, the same rod which I had recast was away again. After falling in over my waders, I had slipped the net under another Combley 30.
I just put that fish back that I showed you. Literally, we're just doing photos of it, and my other rod started going, well, it was the same rod I'd put out again before we took pictures of the fish. And I've had another 30, so two 30s within half an hour of each other. And this one's £31 12, another stunning one. So, it just shows you moving rods, finding different spots if it's not working, can really pay off. And you might notice I'm a bit wet because I managed to fall in. Might talk about that another time. Here we go. £31, 12 ounces on a pop-up again. I'll talk you through the tactics like I said tomorrow. But yeah, I'm absolutely freezing because I managed to fall in when I was playing the fish. I tried to step into the margin to get a better angle on it. I've got my waders on anyway, but I managed to fall in a deeper bit and it went over the top of my waders, so I'm soaking wet and starting to shiver because it's getting dark. So yeah, I'll just flip it around, show you the other side, and then I need to get some new clothes on. There we go guys, that's the other side for you. So that's fish number 5 now, and 3 of them have been £30 and one was £29 14, so just under £30, and the other one was a little 18 pounder, but it's been a mind-blowing session here and we've still got a night to go, so who knows what the night might bring. But if that's the end for me, I don't care. I just need Steve to get one now. Right, we'll get some pictures, guys, we'll get it back, and I need to go warm up. Well, as you can see, I've had a change of clothes, guys. I only had shorts with me as an alternative to my tracksuit bottoms. So wish me luck tonight when the temperature drops down again. I'm just going to try and very quickly talk you through what's happened really in terms of spots and tactics, and what's led to the capture of those 230s in a row, because that's just really made my day, that, as it's been quiet since those first 3 fish, which were basically in the first 15 hours of the session. Then we've had 36 hours of nothing. I thought, well, I better change tactics and see if I can make something happen, and it's worked straight away. So I'll talk you through that now, guys. And then, yeah, we've got one more night to go, so hopefully there's time for one more, and I really hope Stu's going to have one, because he's been struggling. They've all seemed to have been down my end on this session, where the wind's been blowing, to be fair. So yeah, let's hope Stu gets one. But yeah, I'll talk you through the spots and everything, and then yeah, we'll see what the night brings. Right, guys, so I've got the left hand side of the lake here. You only fish off one bank on this lake, and it's lake exclusive, so no one can go on the other side. So generally people fish over to the far margin, which makes sense because it's quite deep in the middle, and you've got a nice shallow shelf on the far side. It kind of makes sense to fish that way. The fish are patrolling up and down, and you know, in the spring especially, you want to be looking for the shallow water. So when I was here last time, I was catching fish off this bush here, and I think somewhere along here I had a fish, and I also had a rod down here along this margin on this session. Oh, and I think I started on the point over here as well last time, but didn't catch anything from there. But on this session, I've had one down in this left-hand corner down here, where you can climb a tree there and you can look down into the water, and I saw some fish there when I first got here. So I've been fishing down there, just casting from the next swim along, and then I've had one over here somewhere where I caught last time, and the mother rod's been over here. Now it was this rod that's gone for those first 3 fish, but this rod here and the one in the corner there has not really done anything. And I've been watching up the tree, that corner spot, and the fish seem really cagey. They're sort of coming in on the spot, and then they're sort of jostling each other away, and they're not letting the fish get down on the bottom. It's almost like they know it's dangerous. So I've moved off that spot now. And I've moved off this spot here because nothing was happening there. So what I've done is I've got one on the point there, I've got one here because I've already had 3 fish from that spot, and now I've moved my left hand rod to here where I fished last time. I didn't catch anything last time, but I have seen some fish patrolling up and down there, so I thought I'll give it a chance for the last night. And I just walked around and just chucked a few handfuls of bait really, and instead of my bait mix that I was using, I've just used boilies and corn and hemp really, and just scattered that around a fairly small area and cast a pop-up over the top. And that's the rod that's produced those 230s in a row, and they were only out there, well, the first fish went within an hour, and then I was just doing the pictures of the first one, and then the rod went again, the same rod that I'd recast, and went with another 30. So yeah, I've had 3 30s now, and a 29 and an 18, so it's been an amazing session really. I was all doom and gloom sort of today and last night when nothing was happening, and then suddenly it's turned around, so I'm well happy with that. This one on the far margin here on the point there, I've just put boilies on that one just to see what happens. Literally 40 Vitamino boilies and a little black wafter over the top, so there's no mixes baits, you know, it's all just black baits on the bottom, no colours or anything, just hoping that a bigger fish might come in on that spot and have a feed. And I put 40 out because you know, I really want to catch a 40, you know, so maybe that'll bring me some luck. The one in the corner over here, I've just stuck to the same tactics that's worked on that one so far, but it seems to have gone quiet, that spot. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens now, guys. got one more night to go. It's just getting dark. So we're going to have a beer and celebrate those fish and see what the night brings. Right, good morning guys. As you can see, absolutely beautiful morning behind me. And it's been like this every day since we've been here, so it's been really nice, you know, nice sunrises and sunsets, and it's been dry, apart from the sort of condensation, because it's been quite damp in the evenings, but yeah, lovely few days. I could have done without falling in the lake last night. That was pretty funny. I had to change my clothes and I only had shorts with me, so I was sat shivering last night talking to Stuart, and he dug out a pair of trousers for me, but they're a bit small because he's a bit smaller than me, so I couldn't do them up properly, but at least it covered my legs, but they keep falling down, so it's pretty comical really. I'm walking around with my trousers around my ankles. But yeah, it's been a session of challenges, but it's come good in the end. And down here, I don't know if you can see, over here in the margin, we've got another fish in the net. A bit of a funny story behind it, a bit of a weird story I should say, but I'll talk you through that after I've got the fish out. But yeah, I'm just waiting for Stu to wake up so he can help me with the cameras and stuff. I'm not going to be able to do a water shot because all my clothes are wet and my waders are wet. So I can't really, I've got dry clothes on now. I don't want to put my wet waders on and make my clothes wet again. So yeah, although we're meant to be doing water shots, I'll obviously be careful with it, but I'll have to do it on the mat. But yeah, I'll get it out for you in a minute. I've got the rod back out as well and a tiny bit more bait over it as well. So there's a chance of another one yet while we're still in this early morning period. So yeah, let's see what happens for the last few hours. Right guys, so here's the fish that I had this morning, well, in the night and this morning. I'll talk to you about that in a minute, but yeah, it's a totally different one to the ones that I've had. It's not got the same sort of scale pattern. It must be a slightly different strain of fish or something, but yeah, another nice looking one. There we go. That's 31 pound 4 ounces. And after changing spots, I've had 330s on the bounce, so it's definitely worth making the effort, guys, to change your tactics if it's gone a bit quiet for you. It's got leeches on it on this side, so he must have been sat up in the silt and that fairly recently. But yeah, beautiful fish. I'll just show you the other side. We'll get him back and I'll tell you about what happened with this one, because there's a bit of a weird story behind it. There we go, nice and scaly on this side, nice little dotted linear scales. But yeah, happy with that. That's 6 fish now, 4 30s, a 29 and an 18, so really good session. Be packing up in the next sort of 3 hours or so, but we are still in bite time, so yeah, let's see what happens before we go. Come on. Right, so we're into the last hour of the session now. I thought I'd just take you through what happened with that last fish. So about 3 o'clock in the morning, I had a series of beeps on the left-hand rod. So I came out and had a look, and the bobbin was kind of just where it was anyway, and I watched for a while and the bobbin wasn't moving, I had no more beeps, and the rod tip was completely still as well. So I thought, oh, it was just a liner. So I went back to bed. Then this morning, about 5:30, 5:45, I came out to my rods and had a look. And where the line was entering the water, I've got my rods back-leaded on here just to keep the line down out of the way. And the left-hand rod, where the line angle was, it was going quite far out into the lake. It wasn't down at the rod tip where I'd expect it to be. And the bobbin was a little bit higher up than the other two. I thought, oh, that's a bit weird. Obviously, something's happened and perhaps I've been done or whatever. So I thought I'll wind that one in and recast it for that morning bite time. But anyway, when I picked up the rod, it was stuck. It wouldn't move, so I sort of started walking back, and I felt a bit of grating, and then it came free, and then there was a fish on the end. I couldn't believe it. So I spin on there for 3 hours, just sat there with a rig in its mouth, not moving at all, because I didn't get any bleeps at all on the alarms. I guess it maybe got in the reeds and then just sat there. The hook link was all stripped back where I'm using coated braid. I've got a withy pull rig on that rod with a pink pop-up, amino ester pop-up. And yeah, the coating on the braid was all stripped back. And yeah, and the fish had obviously just sat there, maybe trying to get rid of the hook, and it didn't manage to, so thankfully I landed that fish, and that was my 4th 30 of the session, and that's up to 6 fish now, so I'm absolutely blown away. And like I say, I've only got an hour left. I really don't care if I don't have any more fish, but I am going to stick it out until 10 o'clock when I need to be off, so there's always chance for a last one. I've just seen a bit of fizzing down there as well, so yeah, I am sort of holding out hope for a last fish. But it's been a great session. I've really enjoyed being here. The weather's been beautiful, and I've caught 6 fish, so I can't ask for more than that really. So I hope you have enjoyed the video, guys. I'm going to string it out, like I say, till the end, but if there's no more fish, that will be the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There's lots of content coming this year. Give it a thumbs up as well, and leave a comment if you've enjoyed it, or if there's any questions or anything like that, and I'll try and get back to you. But yeah, if there's no more fish, that'll be the end. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.